this week's edition of Farmers Connection, a presentation of the Ministry of Agriculture, brought to you in association with the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, the Guyana Rice Development Board, the National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute, and the Guyana Livestock Development Authority. On this week's program, we bring you a feature on the highlights of a commissioning ceremony of two facilities extended to the Farmers Group of Orealla Siparuta by the Rural Enterprise and Agriculture Development Project, a project that came to an end last year, and of course the closeout ceremony for that program was held earlier this year. But of course the farmers of Orealla Siparuta have benefited under this program. They're among the last set of farmers, farmers groups, to benefit from this program. And 2 weeks ago we went into Orealla and commissioned a fruit processing factory and two boats, one for Orealla and one for Siparuta, of course to help them in transporting their produce and products out of the riverine community to the Carintine coast and beyond.
Farmers and householders, pesticides and other chemicals used on your farms, gardens and in your homes are dangerous and can result in death or serious injury if mishandled. It is important to ensure that all pesticides and toxic chemicals be secured in a locked cabinet away from children. Never store pesticides in the same space as food, animal feed or other supplies. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board.
Whisper on my lips, I feel it in my fingertips, it's pulling at my skin.
An important aspect of the GRDB's 6 steps to a successful rice crop is the use of balanced nutrition. One part of this practice includes the incorporation of mixed fertilizers such as the NPKs or separately as TSP and muriate of potash. This is done after the first cut during the dry period. If conditions does not allow for application on dry soil, then the next best time is before leveling. Incorporation before planting ensures that nutrients are present in the soil for access by the young seedlings.
Throw fertilizer before you plow the land or before you plant. You throw the TSP, the potash, and then you level up your land.
All fertilizer recommendations should be based on chemical soil analysis. A message from the extension arm of the Guyana Rice Development Board. The READ project was launched 6 years ago and provided grants and loan financing for farmers groups in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 10. The project also provided technical and other assistance to their management practices, etc. The project was financed by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and implemented by the government and the Agricultural Ministry's Agricultural Sector Development Unit, ASDU. READ targeted small farmers groups with members who cultivate up to 5 acres, growing non-traditional crops, and those with small-scale agro-processing business enterprises employing up to 5 permanent workers. The project also focused in rural households that are headed by women, households that include unemployed or underemployed young people, and Amerindian communities. Members of groups were also taken on field trips with first-hand looks at modern farming practices and interventions of big farms and agro-processing enterprises around the country. During the life of the project, more than 25,000 Guyanese, more than half of them women, benefited in profoundly uplifting ways. Among the many groups that benefited from the project was the Orealla Siparuta Farmers Group, comprising farmers, loggers, and poultry rearers from the two communities. Farmers of the two communities have long been plagued by challenges associated with getting their produce, mainly pineapples, to the quarantine coast in a timely manner and have suffered significant losses through spoilage of their fruits and vegetables. Through READ, the group was exposed to training in several areas relative to the management of a business, record keeping, accounts, and marketing. Several were also given basic training in agro-processing techniques, etc. The READ project also allowed for the renovation of a building in the community of Orealla that will be used as a food processing factory for the canning of various fruits common to the two communities. Several pieces of equipment were also provided to the groups for use in the processing of fruits. Another key aspect of the project was the provision of 2 boats, one for each community. This was to eliminate the hardships faced by the farmers of the two communities in getting their produce out to markets on the quarantine coast. Technical and other assistance to the group was and continues to be provided by the International Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA. Last weekend, the factory and the 2 boats were commissioned during a simple ceremony at Orealla. A team from the Ministry of Agriculture, headed by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. George Jervis, traveled to the Amerindian community for this exercise. Preceding the commission of the factory was a simple ribbon-cutting exercise on the 2 boats. Cutting the ribbons was a child of the community assisted by an older resident. Immediately after this exercise was the commissioning of the 1-flat building to be used for the fruit processing activities of the group. Giving the welcome was Chairman of the Orealla Farmers Group, Ms. Janice Herman.
Well, this morning, it's a pleasure for me to welcome everyone, especially the team from Georgetown, Mr. the Permanent Secretary, and Mr. George Jarvis, and Ms. Nadira from READ, all the other officials. I must say welcome to everyone. And Orealla and Siparuta resident, the Tushao and the councillors. I must say welcome to all, and that to this special occasion that we have, the commissioning of the boat and engine, and now this fruit factory. I must thank everyone who are present here, and I wish that I hope that we have a good relation together with Orealla and Siparuta, and especially these government officials. And we hope in the future that we will get more help, because you could say that those things are the gift that we receive. And I say thank you very much.
Delivering the feature address at the ceremony was Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, George Jervis, on behalf of the Minister of Agriculture, Noel Holder, who had missed the trip due to his responsibilities at Parliament for the 2015 budget considerations. In his preamble, the Permanent Secretary assured the residents of the two communities of Orealla and Siparuta that while the life of the READ project has ended, the benefits to the groups it interacted with across the country has been brought to the attention of the new coalition government, which has recognized its impact and are currently finalizing arrangements to have a second component of the project realized.
To the extent that during the budget debate earlier this week, the now opposition party specifically asked, having praised the work that READ is doing, whether this program will continue. And the answer, of course, is that it will continue. Before I say more, I'd like to introduce, I think we should clap for that. I'd like to introduce the members of the party that came with me. Mr. Holder, Mr. Anthony from the Livestock Development Authority. Let me let them introduce themselves. Go on.
Nadira Edwards-Lee. Well, most of you know me, right? I've done training with a lot of you here. READ project.
I'm also with the Reed Project. My name is Adetta Owls.
I'm Rudy Singh. I'm in the Reed Project since 2010. I was here already a couple of years back with the team, Randy and some of the other guys.
Maxine Paris Aaron from IECA.
Okay, good morning. My name is Marvin India. I'm the Regional Environmental Health Officer for Region Number 6, representing the Food and Drugs Department.
Please give them a round of applause. The shy young lady is from the Fisheries Department. I don't know why she didn't come forward. I thought it was particularly important that I introduce the people who work in agriculture and who you should expect to continue to work with you to develop from strength to strength. I particularly like the poem that was said because 100 years ago when I was in primary school, there were poems similar to that about the farmer being the man. So contrary to the thought that she was just a farmer, the fact is, as is seen on some stickers, if you ate today, thank a farmer. If you ate today, thank a farmer.
According to Mr. Jervis, farmers tend to see themselves as less important in society because of how they perceive agriculture as an activity one engaged in as a last resort in earning an income.
We see ourselves as not the most important persons because we've treated agriculture and farming as if it's something that is below us, but we are forced to do it. The building that we stand in will allow you to move from that notion of being simply a person who chases away the monkey from the pineapple field, lose everything, and after it costs you $50 to produce a pint, somebody wants to pay you $10 for it. When I came here last time, I saw mangoes on the ground. I am told that there are other fruit at other times of the year that will drop and be left to rot under the trees. But thanks to the assistance that was given through the Reed Project, you now have at least the tools to convert those fruit that is normally wasted to something that you can sell as a value-added product. My call to you today is don't see this as another thing somebody give you that you will use for a couple of days and then allow it to go. See this as the first of 1,000 steps and see yourself as making sure through your action that we will come back and work with you not to redo this but to move to higher heights, if I have to use the way the Rastaman would say it. We've started with these pieces of equipment. When we are requested by you is not to repair this anymore. It's to buy more improved ones. It's to find markets for you. It's to bring persons to train you in the agriculture business that surrounds manufacturing. It's to help you with your quality control. Am I getting over to everyone?
Yes.
So this is the start. But this start is like someone just pushing you overboard and you swim. And the next thing you want us to do is move the shark somewhere away from you. You don't want us to teach you to swim because you can swim. I was extremely impressed the last time I was here when I saw how quickly the lecturer became the observer and then the admirer of what was done. I recall we started at about 9 in the morning and we started with the pineapple being received, pineapple mangoes being received at that end. In 2 hours time, the ladies were able to do it themselves. And I would like to take this opportunity to compliment, and let's give a round of applause to the ladies who worked here. I was even more proud when we had our closeout workshop and I saw the products that came out of Orealla. What some of you may not know is that when the new government came in, I had Ndira collect samples from all of the wheat projects around, and we presented it to them. So much so that they asked us to prepare the next project for funding through the International Fund for Agriculture Development. So the work that you have done so far is extremely well received and well recognized.
According to the Permanent Secretary, the hard work now begins for the groups, as they must now work together to ensure that the progress realized so far can be built upon for the benefit of the communities and residents therein.
Every fruit that we take for granted here got a value to somebody. Like I said last time, most times when we treat fruit as if it has no value. And you only know the value of fruits when you leave Orealla Siparuta and you go to live in Georgetown and you're free to get a mango, you go to the market and they say it's $200 a mango. And you remember you used to walk on mango in Orealla. You play dog with mango, right? If you want to play ball and bat or you want to practice a stroke, you get 4 mangoes and do that. But mangoes are about $100 for one, especially the lovely ones you have here. The pineapple that you would probably eat one by yourself, somebody wants to sell you a slice for $100. But it's important. And whilst we recognize that the fruit itself is important, what we've got to recognize is that for you to make money on it, the validation that we are working with in this factory is important. Now, where do we go from here? We have given you some things that you asked for and some things that when we worked with you, we recognize will help to put you on that first step. The ball is now in your court. The Ministry of Agriculture stands ready to lend technical and other support as far as our finances and our technical capabilities will allow. But we're not going to stop there. We will also engage our colleagues from agencies such as IECA, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Bank, IDB, and those other institutions that are interested in the development of Guyanese people. And I'm certain that once we have properly thought out and far-reaching activities, we can have funding and we can have assistance.
He stressed that young people in farming communities across the country must play a bigger role in agriculture and agri-processing. Young people must see agriculture as a money-making business and its potential in this regard fully exploited.
Agriculture must make money. Agriculture is important for food security. Agriculture is important for nutrition security. But agriculture is even more important to you folks in this room for financial security. You would see when you take a single pineapple that would have normally sold for $100 and you put it in jars and you complete the process and you subtract your costs, how much more you make off that. So we want to insist that you don't limit yourself to just commodities. Pineapple must be pineapple juice, pineapple cheese, pineapple jam, anything to do with pineapple, but value added.
Mr. Jervis told the gathering that the stated policy of the new coalition government, as was recently reiterated by President David Granger, is one in which every single community in Guyana receives equal developmental impetus, regardless of race or gender.
The President of Guyana, as part of his charge to all Guyanese, especially we who are the technical people in the ministry, is insisting that we have one Guyana. Not a different Guyana Orealla, and a different one in Crabwood Creek, and a different one in New Amsterdam, and a different one in Georgetown, as currently exists. What we currently have is the people in Orealla get electricity for a couple hours in the day, and the people in Georgetown got 24 hours electricity. The trust of this new administration is to have one Guyana in every single way. Now, how do we achieve that? We from the Ministry of Agriculture are saying to you today, hold us accountable for helping you to develop agriculture here in the same manner as we would help any farmer in any other part of the country. Now, I as the PS am saying to you, feel free to contact my office if you have challenges in having the delivery of agriculture to your community. There must be persons who will work here with you continuously in crops, in livestock, and if you see the need in agro-processing. I came here prepared to talk with you and find out if you can find accommodation. I can send someone who's recently graduated from Guyana School of Agriculture in a certificate in agro-processing to come and work here with you. So that person should be able to work and assist and show you things in addition to what you're doing. And there will be the link between Orealla Siparuta and the Guyana School of Agriculture. We will have staff based here to work the villages. We will equip those staff with transportation and the other relevant things that are necessary for proper delivery of agriculture. In exchange for those, it is our hope that you will cultivate, you will harvest, you will process, and you will have available for sale, not just here in Orealla Siparuta, but outside in the coast also.
The Ministry of Agriculture has committed itself to providing a scholarship to an individual identified by the residents of the two communities to attend the Guyana School of Agriculture. In the interim, though, the ministry is also committed to the secondment of an agriculture specialist to the two communities to advise and guide farmers on proper money-making agricultural practices going forward.
An offer to bright young people from your village scholarships to go study. In fact, what I can say to you now, I can give you this promise, that if you have one person that you would like to see go and be trained in agro-processing, the Ministry of Agriculture can facilitate that request and have someone attend Guyana School of Agriculture, provided that they can get in. Once a person can get in, we can take care of the tuition and we can take care of
Councillor Steve Cruikshank, in delivering the vote of thanks, first gave a background to the communities of Orealla and Siparuta.
The name Orealla came from the word chalk. In the Amerindian dialect language, Arawak, they call chalk Auyara, which means in English spelling O-R-E-A-L-L-A, pronounced as Orealla. So when you heard about Orealla, it's a land of chalk. Similarly with our sister village Siparuta, in the dialect language, Sabaruba means red crab. It's a land from, some years ago you had some red crabs, right? So you hear about Siparuta, it's a land of crab. We are grateful to have you here, PS and team, to this great land of Orealla. Mainly two family has started it some years ago, around the 1920 that we hear about, with two family, one from the Arawak tribe and one from the Warao tribe. And the Arawaks come and settle at the flat here, the Waraos on top of the hill, and this is how Orealla started. And now out of two family, we have approximately 2,000 people.
The Orealla resident and businessman stressed the importance of cooperation in the achievement of goals, pointing to the day's activity as a case in point. He uses the ant in support of his notion of team spirit stating that the ant colony is a classic example of how team spirit can help in the development of a community, unlike crabs in a barrel who seek only to pull each other down.
You know, today is a day of achievement. Another day we see an achievement, right? A day of joy, a day of blessing, and a day of dreams that we see has come true. But these things didn't come so easy. You know, it's a tree of success, but it doesn't come easily. They always have a saying, the root of achievement or the root of education or whatever you want to achieve, the root of it is very, very bitter. But the fruit of this is so sweet. The people who follow this thing, it wasn't easy for them. You know, they had to go through some moments to achieve this, and this is how you achieve things. Nothing doesn't come by magic. You always have to go through some hard, you know, some struggle. But perseverance, and you know, I would like to say to the group, the farmers group, both Orealla Siparuta, you did well. You did well. You persevered. You know, you hold on, and we could see this dream has come true. This blessing. So you're credit for that.
The Orealla resident also called on the various agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture, including the new GMC, to partner with the two communities in helping in the further realization of the dreams and ambitions of the Orealla Siparuta Farmers Group. The formal presentation was followed by the cutting of the ribbon to ceremonially commission the new fruit processing factory that will serve both communities. Everybody come in. Members of the group that were trained by ICA in food handling and processing were presented with their certificates and identification badges. I spoke with the chairpersons and members of the two farmers groups.
Well, I am the chairperson of the Siparuta Farmers Association. I am the newly selected chairperson a few days back.
Tell me what your group does, how long it has been in existence, stuff like that.
Well, my group has been in existence for the last 2 years. And we were not that organized, but then since we had this assistance from the READ and the SBB, we are now well organized, and we also was requesting for some sort of education, because most of our farmers were not that educated in management skills and like doing bookkeeping, etc. So we had requested for that, and that is what happened. It come to reality. We did all the workshops and the training courses, and we still need some more training as yet.
What are some of the crops you guys cultivate?
We cultivate pineapples and bananas and plantain, and we also have another crop by the name of palm tire. And 3 months crop like palm tire, we normally sold it in Suriname. Yeah, it's like a tuber. It's something like an edo, but it grows much longer. Some of them like 4 feet in length. Some are much more. It have 3 different types. Some grow like fingers. You have 3 growing together. Then you have some of them grow just like a single, but sometimes like about a half foot or so.
What are some of the challenges you face? Now you have a boat. How will that help?
Well, at presently now, seeing that we have a boat, we will now be able to carry our products to Corverton, because sometimes we face problems like, for example, at one time I had some pineapples and they were already ripe. Now when I called the boat to pick up my pineapples, the boat passed and caused all the pineapples, because those are perishable fruits and they can't last more than 3 days, especially when they're fully ripe. So when the boat passed, all the pineapples had spoiled. We had to use up some, but still it was too much for us to use up. At that time we didn't have a factory. So seeing that we have a boat now, then we could schedule the time, especially like, for example, if 5 or 6 farmers come together, we do have a load to take the pineapple down, so we can able to organize that on a weekly basis. So that is how the boat, I see that the boat will be helpful.
I am Eugenie Coppin from Siparuta. I'm a pineapple farmer.
All right. How this group and the training you've received will help you advance your business?
Well, I'm a pineapple farmer. Let me tell you first. I'm a pineapple farmer plus a poultry. Well, the training I go through is for layers.
How will it help you?
Well, since after the 2 training, I go through 2 training, and I learn so plenty, and it really helping me right now. Because right now I have over 200 layers, and I'm expecting eggs early.
All right. In terms of your marketing, how will the boat help, or you just supply locally?
Well, I will support the village shops, and later on, then I will go more big in this layers thing. Then I will support like Orealla and West. Sorry, ma'am.
My name is Vincent Alpin.
How has this group helped you as a farmer?
Well, in many ways, because I was an independent farmer by myself before. Then I joined the Farmers Association, and through this Farmers Association, I can able now to get my produce to Corverton by the boat because of the newly built boat, and then I can sell my product to the factory. So this is how the association helped me a lot.
You received any training from Reed?
No, really. I received training in a workshop from a small business bureau. But I didn't have the benefit. I never make up my business plan. But I hope that in the next batch, I'll be the one to receive my benefit.
Well, I'm Janice Horman. I'm the chairperson for the Farmers Group.
All right, tell me some of the challenges farmers in Orealla faced previous to the formation of this group.
Well, concerning challenges, we have some concerning with our farms. We are facing the wild animals, like destroying the pines, some other crops like edos and stuff. And we having some disease on the plantains. We are looking forward to get some help from the NARI, because NARI, they promised to come in concerning with the disease for the plantains.
All right, so how has this group helped farmers so far?
Well, right now we are working together. We have our farms, and this group is helping a lot because we are getting the cooperation, but not on a big scale, just the small scale. Because right now we need machine. We need a machine if we are going to go into rice farming. We have that to improve our farming in our culture. Then.
How will this factory help
Well,
you maximizing your productivity?
Well, according to this factory, we hope to create employment because right now we'll be starting in 10 persons, 8 to 10 persons, and they would be employed right in here. I think it's daily or the whole week or something. I don't know.
So what will you be producing here?
Well, we would process all the fruits, the pawpaw, the mangoes, pineapples, all the fruits.
In terms of the process, what are you doing? Turn it into
jams, into chunks. We process the chunks and the drinks, mango drinks, and the chunks.
How has Reed helped?
Oh, Reed was so cooperative. Reed helped actually in the project, all the project, the boat and engine and the factory with the equipment.
How much of a difference will the boat make to farmers in Orealla?
Well, right now I could say it solved the farmers, you could say the transportation, it helped a lot because right now we don't have transportation. And the boat is really in helping us transportation wise.
Dr. Maxine Paris is the eco-specialist that has been working with the various groups that have benefited from the Reed project. I spoke with her about the Orealla Siparuta Group and the challenges they face ahead.
The Farmers Group in Orealla was exposed to various trainings to do with organizational strengthening, gender-based activities, but in relation to the processing facility, they had food handlers training facilitated by a staff of the Food and Drugs Department of Ministry of, Health as it was then.
All right, so now that they have been trained, you have this food processing facility here. What's supposed to happen now?
Okay, supposedly they're meant to use the facility, employing the training that they've already had. However, there are a number of things that still would have to be put in place. They would have to have a management unit. They would have to assign somebody as operations manager, that is somebody who takes care of the daily activities on the processing floor, and the quality assurance manager, somebody who understands or who is responsible for the quality of the product that comes out. Those two areas, the latter areas, quality control and the operations manager, are areas that they will need a little bit of guidance from. And I've already had the assurance from one individual, I wouldn't call his name right now, but from one of our larger companies in Guyana, that he can assist in this department voluntarily. He will assist the processors in this facility in Orealla.
In terms of the packaging and bottling of the various products that they'll be producing here, how will that be facilitated?
Another area which the kinks would still have to be ironed out, because we know that we have companies who distribute, so they buy from other countries and they sell in Guyana, and Orealla is quite a distance away from Georgetown or even Quarantine itself. So that's another area that we still have to work out with the community as to how they will get the packaging material. I think I need to say that although the facility is completed and ready for use, there are still little areas that have to be worked out with the group. For example, they have to make a determination on the actual products that they want to produce. And pineapple is one of the inputs that they want to use, but as to what they want to process that into, they still have to determine that among themselves. They also have to determine what volumes, where they're going to sell it, and in what form. So whether they need bottles or they need plastic packages would be determined. They will have to have their labels approved. There were labels that they used in the past, but with a facility like this, you want to take the label into the next step. So it must have satisfied the criteria of the food. So those are things that we'll be working with them over the next month or two before the factory actually goes into full operation. They'll be testing the equipment, because what they have to work out is the capacity of the building, of the facility, how many people they need to produce what they're producing in any given day. All those things have to be worked out. So when the facility does go into full operation, then we know that it's going, we can forecast their needs and then what is going to come out at the other end in terms of production and sales.
Apart from the Orealla Siparuta groups, there have been many success stories of groups that have come a long way with the help of READ. Groups that can now expect even more assistance with the coming on stream of READ 2, which will seek to concretize the achievements of the first component. My favorite success story is that of a pig farmer and her group in Linden. I invite you to have a look at her story.
This week we are in the half-mile Silver City area of Linden, in Region 10 of the pig farm of the half-mile Silver City Women's Group. Our tour guide was the lady of business herself, the charming Miss Roxanne Edwards, the pig mama. The half-mile Silver City Group was formed some 16 years ago, as is explained by Miss Edwards.
Our group has been formed for 16 years under the CDC, and we start with farming. But as I move on with the farming, I used to plant cabbage and thick leaf kaloon, pop chai. I decided that I gonna see if I could buy a couple pigs so that it could use up the waste. When I buy the couple pigs, I was being helped by Comrade Shuri, who gave me some baboyo to keep the pigs in. And from there we move on. We would get funding through the CDC, like with chickens, and you take up the chicken guts to feed the couple pigs that you have. And then READ came along. They come one day and they see that we was going in the Arkswell to see some people. We get with the people and the ask if we would like funding to move the project forward. We said yes. Then they tell us, well, we got to do management course so that we will be able to manage our finance and manage a business that we would move on forward to do. So we decided on that. And that is how we start moving from one stage to the next with the members. I am not farming now because I get attached to my pigs, and this is what I take to do for a living. Pigs and chicken rearing.
Miss Edwards is not what you would consider a traditional pig farmer. She does not want to see her pigs killed for meat. She has devised, therefore, a business plan that sees her selling piglets rather than full-grown animals.
You rear them not for
meat purpose, to sell the young piglets. Everybody got names You lose them out. Everybody know the pain. Everybody know what time this get feed. If the fire and a call, everybody know, well, here, this is me time. That we gotta come in. Down to the little ones and all, because I train them at a very young stage. I lose them out in the mornings early, for like get a little hour run and eat, and by time like the hour finish, because everybody got different intervals in which I did lose them out. So I practice them by calling, come, come. They know when I say come, come, it's time to go back inside of the pen. Everything is about training. If you focus on what you're doing, you can move forward. I want to say thanks to the READ project, the people that sponsor it, and thanks to the government for what they have done for us, because they move us from one stage to the other. I just had one pen, and they came in and they funded us with a grant, which we move ourselves forward. I want to say thanks very much, because just I know what I did, other people can follow me. And now, normally what we does, in every good batch that we get, we would give away a 3 or 4 to different groups. Dalawala was fortunate to get, Old England was fortunate to get, Nottinghamshire was fortunate to get. We got a book that we just normally keep records, because that is one of the things that the government, when they give us the large white, they tell us that you got to help out other farmers. So we would help from time to time, give small pigs to different groups.
But the pig rearing business is not without its challenges.
Mostly, I won't say feed, but medicine. Because the government sponsor us to go to Ghana School of Agriculture. They give you the knowledge and how you can look at it, how you can inject it when ready to get kids, how you could deliver them, help them out if they're going through difficulties. But you can't get iron, you can't get Bico, you can't get this other thing, the warmer. So if you can't get those things, it is be difficult, because what I just got to do, I got to call in a vet. Now, if I get a pig drop, and the pig drop, let me say 11, and I got to call in the vet, and each one of them young pig, you got to pay $300 or $200 for vaccine them. It don't make sense, because you use up more than if you can go and buy it. If you can go and get it on the market to buy, you already have the knowledge, so you can move forward to do what you have to do. And then the laugh of it, sometimes when the vet come, you still got to take the injection needle to help you out with the pigs, because the frightened for going the pen and the saying it's risky, the pigs is bite. So if we get the drugs, better.
So how much of an impact has READ had on the efforts of this particular group?
We had, before we get the funding from READ project, we had about 12 sow. But now I got 35 sow, and I got about 20 more. Piglets, I really can. The piglets plenty. I got about 50-something piglets.
And this is a direct result of READ's.
READ. This is the help from READ, because if it was not for READ funding, I would not have been able to achieve that I achieved within that short space of time.
fana ye Polikela mamuno jamana benanjana jecholi Jaja beni kabara 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 Kabara ye bara dilaye brafa brama kabara ye bara firi fane ni brafa brama tilala kabara dilala brafa brama baka bara do firi ni brafa brama tilala kabara dilala brafa brama baka brama wo franche brafa brama ya kabara 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 wo franche
The Half-Mile Silver City Women's Group, made up of some 13 single-parent women, is also into the rearing of chickens, which also helps to bolster the feed supply for the pigs.
These chickens is a part of our group operation. We are mine chickens, and when we kill chickens, we use the inside, which we call the guts, for the feeding purpose of the pigs. I know that fish is high in proteins and also chicken. I also feed my dogs with the same chicken food that I give to the pigs. Everything is one operation, but because of the helper read, the pigs, the small pigs that we sell, we was able to move to do some chicken rearing. I don't think you could see it from in front here, but at the back there is a newly pen is being constructed from the 4 sets of chickens that I sell, because I already started selling. We come together to do the back, which would house about 800 more boards. What I want to say is that seeing that people has been given the chance from Reed to do whatever project they're doing, with good management, you can move from stage to stage and move on for bigger development. I am asking Reed, because I know that it's working in collaboration with the government, if they could assist us with some land so that we could get the operation bigger and better, that for the new year we'll be able to find ourselves, even if it's not on the export market, because I know within a year, if anybody come and watch this yard, they're going to know a lot of work do within a year. And if you get the help some more help, because we are already getting help from Reed underneath the government, and a bigger place, we could do better, because I would like to make feed. And if I get the opportunity to make feed with this amount of chicken and pig that we have, and also do some biogas, we can move forward to where we want to go in development. I want to say that I know that is 100% we put in it, and 200% the government put in it. I want to say thanks for everything, and I want to not only thanks for myself, for every member of this group, because they got other people that doing pigs in just a little way from here, not too far, and they're going out okay too, because what we just do, we just come together. If they got pigs to sell, we would put back something into our finances so that we could move forward to do something else.
The READ project is about empowerment of those facing challenges, providing the means through which individuals can rise above their particular circumstances and in so doing be able to provide for themselves and family. Ms. Edwards shared with us how individual members of her group have been able to rise up out of very challenging circumstances.
I want to say we had a couple of single parents that was not working. That was home, wasn't doing anything. But right now, they're benefiting from the READ project, because they just get work when we pluck, everybody that's being paid, and also they're doing something at their home. We have one single parent, she had about 5 children. She don't have a husband. She's living on top of the hill. We helped her out with the same READ project in terms of finance. We have a next girl that is through Mr. Smalley. And this big man, Mr. Smalley, he's a pensioner. He wasn't doing anything either. Right now, we give him 100 chickens. So that is from the project. Like, if we wear X amount of chickens and when we sell we get so much, we help out different people from the group that wasn't getting really anything. I can't say wasn't getting anything because everybody doing something, but they get added money to the money that they're getting, so that they're able to move themselves forward. They got 2 other people who the group helped in building somewhere for them to stay, because they didn't have anywhere. They had the land, but didn't have anything on the land. Right now they get 2 houses on the land, and that is from the help from READ project, because if they didn't help us, we couldn't help them.
Ms. Edwards and the Half Mile Silver City Group are hopeful that they may be able to acquire land, perhaps in the Moblissa area, so as to continue the expansion of their thriving pig and chicken rearing business. All made possible, of course, through the support of READ and the government of Guyana, with financial support from IFA. Farmers and householders, pesticides and other chemicals used on your farms, gardens, and in your homes are dangerous and can result in death or serious injury if mishandled. It is important to ensure that all pesticides and toxic chemicals be secured in a locked cabinet away from children. Never store pesticides in the same space as food, animal feed, or other supplies. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board.
Well, that's all the time we have on this week's edition of Farmers Connection, a presentation of the Ministry of Agriculture and brought to you every week at this time. Until I'm Christopher Holder, on behalf of the entire production team, saying so long, see you around.
Masoka nini horonya ye Niminko, Mimanya